Hi everyone, welcome back to IELTS with Rashid. In today's video, we're going to learn how to deal with map questions of listening module. Let's dive in. Many of my students find labeling a map to be one of the most toughest questions on the listening test. This is because you have to pay very close attention to directions on the map, and if you get lost, you might do really badly on the whole section of the IELTS listening test. But don't worry, I'm going to give you some easy way of going about it, and these questions will be just like a breeze. Let's get going. So this is our plan of the video. You'll first get a quick overview of this type of question, and then I will show you the kind of vocabulary and expressions you will need to do well on it. And then I'll give you very important tips to make these questions a walk in the park, and finally one example with its overview. This map labeling question is common in IELTS Listening Section 2, but it can also appear in Section 3. Alright, so what is a map question and what types of skills are evaluated or judged? It's similar to a guided tour, and in the questions you need to be able to deal with and understand directions and find locations. So the aim in labeling a map is to connect the information that you hear in the listening to the gaps in the map. This question looks like this. In some maps you are given a list of words and you have to choose the correct word to fit in the map. Other times you will be just given some gaps and you need to listen to and choose the right word from the listening audio. You'll get 30 seconds to read the questions before you listen to the audio. Let's quickly have a look at the kind of language that is used in this type of question. The speaker uses a particular kind of language that's for talking about directions and locations. You must have that vocabulary to understand correctly where the speaker is leading you to. Where the speaker says go across or on the opposite side, you must know where to look on the map to stay on the track. Pause the video here and have a look at the list here. Okay, so now let's move to some of the tips that can help you improve your score in this type of question. First off, read the instructions very carefully so that you know what you need to do and the maximum number of words and or numbers that you can use. In this case, this example, you don't have to write any words. You have been given labels to write against these names. On this map, we have to first find where exhibition center is. That's our first question. And then we have to hear where High Street is. We'll write down these labels A, B, or C as our answers. The most important tip is that you must clearly identify the features of the map, how the things are laid out, where everything is, what's already there. So why this is so important? It will simply help you navigate in the map and give you a picture of where things are, because the examiner will use these locations to give out the locations of the missing items. For example, on this map we can see entrance, some woods and a pond, a railway track, etc. These features will lead you to understand the missing locations. Okay, the next one is understanding the context. Listen carefully at the beginning as the speaker will guide you to the context, where you are, for example, which will help you follow the talk. For example, in this particular map, the speaker will start from the entrance.
Now, if you'd like to look at your map, we'll begin our tour. The site is a bit like a circle, with the railway going round the edge. You can see where we are now by the entrance.
Pay also close attention to the other clues in the map. South, east, and west are. This means it is likely that these phrases will be used to direct you. Let's try these tips on one of the examples that I've taken from the Cambridge book. Right, so I'm going to play the audio and we're going to find where exhibition center is.
Now, if you'd like to look at your map, we'll begin our tour. The site is a bit like a circle with the railway going round the edge. You can see where we are now by the entrance, and we're going to start by walking to the high street. We'll go to the crossroads in the middle of the map and go straight on, making our way between two buildings on either side of the path. The larger one is an exhibition centre, but it's not open today, unfortunately.
The speaker begins with the entrance, so now we know where we are and where we have to start. This is the crossroad, and he says go straight on, so we go along between the two buildings. It's clear that the speaker is referring to these two buildings. He says that the larger one is exhibition center, so this is our first answer. Did you see how we got to this answer? If we hadn't identified the beginning where the entrance is and where the crossroad is, we would probably be lost and miss out our answer. Now I'm going to play the rest of the recording. Write down your answers as you listen. I will display the correct answers at the end.
Now, if you'd like to look at your map, we'll begin our tour. The site is a bit like a circle with the railway going round the edge. You can see where we are now by the entrance, and we're going to start by walking to the high street. We'll go to the crossroads in the middle of the map and go straight on, making our way between two buildings on either side of the path. The larger one is an exhibition centre, but it's not open today, unfortunately. The other building is offices. The path leads directly to the High Street building, which is at the opposite side of the site to the entrance. Here you're free to wander around and take a ride up and down on a tram. We'll then take the path which follows the railway line and crosses it to the farm. If you wish, you can have tea in the farmhouse, and there'll be time to look at the animals and the machinery. Then we cross the railway line again and visit our special attraction, which is the coal mine. It's just in front of us, here at the entrance. We'll return to the crossroads and walk through a small wooded area to the manor house. This is one of the original buildings on the site and belonged to a wealthy farmer. You can look round the house and gardens and talk to our guides who can tell you what it was like to live there. We will then follow a path which goes past the pond and will take us to the railway station, which is situated between the path and the railway line. Finally, we'll take the steam train back around the site, passing alongside the high street and the coal mine back to the entrance. So, if you'd like to follow me... Yes.
To improve your listening score, particularly in map questions, you really have to do some practice. Once you're done with that, these questions will become very easy for you. They just require a little practice until you get used to them. This is Rashid, and I'll see you in the next video.